Good morning, everyone, or afternoon, or whatever time it happens to be for you. This is Mr. Nelson, and today we're going to talk a little bit about character and how we design a character for a comic. So first of all, think about your favorite comic character. For most of you, it's going to be a superhero, but for other people, it'll be a character from a different story, like maybe Raina Telgemeier's sisters, or well, that's the big one that I can come up with right now. Now, every character has an origin, a starting point that explains who they are, what they do, why they do it. So your job is going to be to create your own character. Now, we're going to do this like a superhero, and I'll give some examples at the end of how we could do this for a character that isn't a superhero. But for right now, let's go ahead and switch over to the drawing cam, which shows nothing. Now it shows something. So the first thing we have to think about with a character and their origin is, let's start off with what their superpower is. And then, once we figured that out, how did they get it? Those are all origin stories, or those are all parts of an origin story. So when we think about it, if we talk about rocketed from the doomed planet Krypton, we know that would be a Superman origin story. Or bitten by a radioactive spider. There you go. There's Spider-Man. So we've got those two parts. So the first thing you've got to figure out is, what superpower do you want yours to have? And if you want them to have more than one superpower, you still have to explain how they got it. Now, they could have gotten it through science. They could have gotten it through magic, or something else, something mysterious. So I'm going to look at my character right now as he can fly. That's all he can do. So their superpower is they can fly. Now, if they can fly, what could have happened? Well, they could have been in a lab or a workshop making wings. So then this would be science, and it would be a mechanical answer. Or maybe they found an amulet with a bird on it. And when they wear that, they can fly. They sprout wings and they can fly. Something like that. It's entirely up to you as to what their superpower is and how they get it. So I'm going to draw both of these. I'm going to draw a magic one, and I'm going to draw a lab one. And that question mark could be, Superman's kind of not science, not magic. He's more an alien from another world. So I'm going to start off with my character, and I'm going to start off with a circle. And I'm going to start off with the basic body that I always draw, because this makes it a lot easier for me. So there's the start. And I'm going to draw two of them because I want to have two different characters. Now remember, yours is probably going to take a little bit longer. Now, They both look the same, so we can't tell which one is which. But let's see what I can do to change that. I'm going to give them eyes. I'm going to give him a nose, and I'm going to give him a mouth. And then from there, I'm going to figure out some other things. So let's say this is my science guy. So he's going to start off with a big box, and he's going to have that come in like this, because that attaches to his giant mechanical wings. And I'm drawing gears, and then I'm going to put big sticks coming off of them. And then I'm going to put maybe a dot here and a dot here to show that they could fold in. And then I'm going to just do oops, let's try that again. And I'm drawing him a little fast, so now what else is he going to need? Well, he's probably going to need gloves if he's flying, just in case. So there are his gloves. Notice how I'm just doing a circle and 3 little bumps. He's probably going to want a helmet. What kind of helmet could he wear? Well, for right now, he's just going to wear a helmet. Just going to wear a little bicycle helmet. Okay, and he's going to need, he or she, we still haven't figured that one out yet, is going to need goggles to keep their eyes, to keep bugs out of their eyes. And then I'll put their ears. Now from here, we can go to this, and we can change this into pants by just adding that. And we'll put a big B, and this is Bird Boy. And this is all mechanical, and it all works using a motor that he's got in the back that is part of his backpack. So there's Bird Boy. And now we've got this magic one. Well, magic, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give them, I'm going to overlap a little bit. I'm going to give them real wings with feathers. And you know what? I think I'm even going to give them, well, I want to put the amulet on so we can see it, so we know where they got their power. So there's the amulet. And then we'll add some gloves too, because, you know, superheroes wear gloves. And something like that. Maybe give them some shoulder pads so that they look kind of cool. We'll color those in. And then a big belt. And maybe this is going to be one of those guys who wears shorts and big boots. And hair-wise, I think we're going to give him a band across his head, and then some hair and ears. And the hair is going to come off a little bit, and it's going to be kind of long. And there we have AVR. Hey, AVR. Yeah, that works. AVR. Well, a bird is an avian, so there. Come up with this new character. He's not Bird Boy. Bird Boy is more mechanical. AVR is a magical guy who, when he puts on this, he becomes he sprouts wings, and he can fight crime and all of that with just this amulet. Now, what else? Well, once I figure out the animal, or once I figure out the first part, how they got their powers, from here, I know that anytime he wants to do something, it's going to be some sort of a gadget. It's going to be a gadget. It's going to be a thing. Here, it could be magic. It could be, if he's from birds, what else do birds have? What else can birds do? So maybe he can see really well because he's got the eyes of a hawk, or maybe something like that. So when you're designing your character, that is what we're looking at. We're looking at the origin, where they got their start, what their superpower is, how they got it. And then from there, was it science? Was it magic? Was it something else? And as you can see, we have two characters that can fly, but they've got their completely different origins. Here, he was in a lab and he was making stuff. And here, he found this amulet while he was on vacation. And I can write a whole story about just how they got their powers. So that is today's lesson. The only other thing I want to talk to you about is making sure that when you're drawing, that your characters all look different. That if you have got a boy and a girl, that they look different. If you've got two brothers, they look different. If I draw, and I'm just going to draw this guy, and I do this, I don't have to do anything else. We know that that's probably Charlie Brown. We never see Charlie Brown not in a shirt with that on it. If I were to draw this, and maybe add a cape, I don't have to put anything else. We know that that makes this character Superman. And a little curve. But every time you see a character in a comic, for the most part, especially a comic strip, they're always wearing the same clothes. So we can easily tell who's who by what they're wearing. So if you go ahead and do this, who's this guy and who's that one? How do I know how they're different? You could make one color, one the other color. That's an easy way. Or you could go ahead and add something special, like maybe this person's got long hair and this person's got hair like that. Those are easy ways of doing it, but I know you can do a lot better. So when I'm seeing your drawings now, I'm going to expect that you have a little bit more about what is going on. So your characters need to look different. Your characters need to start having detail in them. Now, if you've got time, you can go ahead and watch the video that I made yesterday on how to make a comic. I'm going to do another short video in just a few minutes to show you how you should do those pages when it comes down to finishing the comic, because I have a lot of people who are just adding words. And this is a comic. It needs to have pictures. So try this out. It's going to be a first iteration. It's not going to be perfect, and that's okay. That's how we learn. And I hope to see you tomorrow, maybe when I have my Zoom meeting at about 1:30. So if I don't see you then, have a great week. Stay safe, stay healthy, and wash your hands.